in higher ed academia, writing fiction is not a normal route you see. So talk to me about that, the expectations around that you've navigated.
When I first started writing the novel, even when I was pretty close to getting it published, there were very few people like in my inner circle, I would say at work, who knew that I had written a novel, right?
Yeah.
And part of it was because you're like, it's supposed to be very serious and everything's supposed to be hard data and science and all of those things. And I do all of those things, but I've also sort of found that it wasn't engaging a wider audience, right? I mean, it's a very closed circle. The people who look up academic articles are people who are also doing research in that field. Like it's very like sort of internal in some way. You're not really reaching a wider audience in any way, right?
Sure.
So that's why I chose fiction, is for all the things I told you. I think it builds empathy, compassion. It integrates all of these things I've been doing for years, which is taking my students abroad on trips and observing the changes that are taking place in the world, and also a bit autobiographical in the sense of what my upbringing was as an immigrant to this country. I think in the beginning I was very hesitant to share this idea at work, but over time, as I did, I actually found that people really were fascinated by it, number one, and two, really into it. Like they were like, oh, that's kind of cool. Don't get me wrong. There might be a couple of people at work who are still kind of like have their, nose in the air and are like, this doesn't count as like something legit, right? Or whatever.
Oh, wow.
But a majority of people have just been really supportive and actually been sharing with me all of their outside talents and hobbies, right? So I think all of us, when we talk about embracing layers, all of us have these different layers, right?
Yeah.
To us. And we sometimes are like, okay, well, this layer I can only share with this group, and this layer I can only share with this group, and this layer I can only share with this group. Sort of coming out of that and saying, no, you can share every bit of yourself. I think it's really helped over time. It's been a hard experience. Don't get me wrong. There's been lots of rejection. It's been a hard experience, but probably the one that I've grown from the most, like personally and professionally.